Have you ever hit a milestone that made you stop and think, wow, look at how far I've come? For me, that milestone is just a few days away, my 62nd birthday. And let me tell you, each year comes with a whole lot of lessons, surprises, and style upgrades. But it's more than just another number. It's about celebrating who we are, where we've been, and what's still ahead. So, are you ready to reflect on your own milestones and embrace every year with grace, gratitude, and a little bit of fabulousness? Then let's dive in. Hey, friend, ever feel like those old fashioned ideas about aging just don't fit you? If you're ready to own this incredible chapter with grace, style, and a touch of sass, this is your space. Welcome to the Aging with Grace and Style podcast. I'm Valerie Hatcher, and I'm here with empowering tips, inspiring stories, and a whole lot of fun just for us, women over 50. So grab your favorite beverage, turn up the volume, and let's get started. Today's episode is extra special because it's all about celebrating milestones. Why? Because in just a few days, I'll be celebrating my 62nd birthday. Birthdays are such a great time to reflect, to look forward, and celebrate all the things that make life beautiful. You know, there's something special about birthdays that end in even numbers. They feel like those checkpoints on this grand adventure that we're on. And as I stand here, or shall I say sit here, on the cusp of 62, I can't help but marvel at the journey that's brought me here. I want you to take a moment and think about your last birthday. How did you feel? What did it mean to you? Now, hold on to that thought because today we're diving into how these stones are more than just another candle on the cake. They're opportunities to reflect on where we've been, to celebrate who we are now, and to set intentions for the future. So let's start with the big question. What does turning 62 mean to me? Well, honestly, it seems like I blinked and I was here. But it feels like I've reached the summit of a mountain that I've been climbing for years. And the view up here, it's pretty breathtaking. I can look back and see the path that I've taken, all the twists, the turns, the steep climbs, and even the moments when I thought that I might stumble. And you know what? I really wouldn't change a single step. Okay, well, I maybe wouldn't change many steps. When I think about each decade of my life, I realize how much every phase has shaped me. My 20s, for example, those were the finding myself years. I was fresh out of college, moving into my own apartment, trying to figure out what direction to take my career. And of course, I didn't solve many issues, but at least I was on a path. Then came my 30s and my 40s. Those I'll call the balancing years. During my 30s and my 40s, I made 3 moves all away from my family in San Antonio. Got married, bought 2 houses, had a baby, and finished a master's program. Looking back, it was a lot. Between family, career, and personal growth, I felt like I had to be everything to everyone. That's when I started to really understand the power of saying no and how essential it is to create space for what matters most. And then my 50s. Well, that was a game changer. In my 50s, I began to focus more on me. It wasn't about what others expected, it was about what made me feel fulfilled. I started to embrace who I was, flaws and all, and let go of trying to meet everyone else's standards. That shift has been so freeing. Now in my 60s, I feel like I'm standing on solid ground. All those lessons that I've learned from each decade have brought me to a place of peace and excitement for what's next. It's not just about getting older, it's about growing wiser, more confident, and more intentional with my life. As you reflect on your own milestones, take a moment to write down a lesson from each decade of your life or each significant phase. Honestly, it's been pretty interesting and eye opening for me to sit back and think about it. Whether you're in your 20s, your 40s, or beyond, what have you learned that has shaped who you are today? Consider how these lessons can guide you as you look ahead to the next chapter. Now, speaking of being intentional, one thing I've embraced over the years is my personal style. I love talking about style. And here's the thing, there's no age limit on feeling fabulous. In fact, I feel like my style has only gotten better with age, but it wasn't always that way. When I was younger, I worried about what was considered quote unquote appropriate in the corporate world. I felt like I had to fit a certain mold. Now, at almost 60, I say almost because, hey, I still have a few days. I've thrown those rules out the window. I wear what makes me feel confident. It could be long or short, black or bold, fitted or loose, but it's always tasteful. I remember a conversation recently about how I wouldn't fit in with a certain group of people because my dresses were too short. While, yes, my dresses are typically above the knee, they aren't untastefully short. Hey, I have long legs, but really, must we conform to what makes others feel better or what makes them feel secure? I'm not playing it safe to please others. Yes, there are times when the situation, the location, or the event calls for a certain style, and I totally get it and respect that. But changing who we are to please others, that shouldn't have to be the case. Not at this point in life. That even includes how I wear my hair. And we've talked about the braids in another episode and how I'm truly embracing them, but it's taken a while to get there. It's freeing to embrace your style without worrying about what anyone else thinks, whether it could be bright red lipstick for you or a leather jacket. But whatever it is, I've learned that personal style is about how you show up in the world. It's about owning who you are. Now, take a look at your wardrobe or the way you express yourself. Is there something that you've been wanting to try, but you held back because you didn't think it was appropriate for your age or your stage of life? This week, give yourself permission to wear something that's bold or try a new look that reflects who you truly are, not who you think you should be. Your style should make you feel confident and fabulous at any age. Now, another big lesson that I've learned, especially as I've gotten older, is the power of gratitude. And I mean truly practicing gratitude, not just thinking about it here and there. For me, gratitude has been a game changer. It shifts my focus from what I might be missing to what I already have. One of the ways that I've incorporated gratitude into my daily life is by keeping a gratitude journal. I know I mention journaling often, but it really is one of the tools that keeps me sane and grounded. Most nights, now my goal is every night, but that's sometimes not realistic. I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. Some days it could be something as simple as having a peaceful morning with my coffee. Other days it could be something a little deeper, like the support of my family or a meaningful conversation that I had. Gratitude helps me remember that even on tough days, there's always something to be thankful for. There there was one particular rough day that I remember when it seemed like nothing was working out for me or nothing was working out the way I planned. But I sat down that night and I wrote about the small things that I appreciated, and it completely changed my perspective. Gratitude doesn't erase the challenges, but it does help you to see the light in the dark. I want to challenge you to start a gratitude practice if you don't already have one. Take just 5 minutes each day and write down 3 things that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be big, small things matter too. You'll be amazed at how this simple habit can shift your focus and lift your spirits, especially on tough days. And that brings me to something that I love about birthdays. They're not just about looking back, they're about looking ahead and setting new intentions for the future. I think of birthdays as like my personal New Year's, except the resolutions are more about who I want to be and less about checking boxes. As I step into 62, I've been thinking about what I want to focus on this year. One of my big intentions is to embrace more joy and to be more present. I want to stop rushing through life and really savor the little moments, the laughter with friends, the quiet moments with family, the beauty of everyday life. I also want to continue prioritizing my health, making sure that I'm taking care of myself mentally, emotionally, and physically. Intentions don't have to be big or overwhelming. They're just guiding principles for how we want to live. For example, instead of saying, I'm going to work out every single day, because Lord knows I know that that's highly unlikely, I'll set the intention to feel strong and energized, and then I'll make choices that align with that. It's less pressure and more about creating a life that feels good. As you approach your own milestone, whether it's a birthday, a career shift, or a personal transition, take time to set an intention. Ask yourself, what do I want to feel or experience this year? It doesn't have to be a big goal, just a meaningful intention that will guide you toward living with more purpose and more joy. So before we wrap up today, I always want to hear from you. How do you celebrate your milestones? What lessons have you learned along the way? Do as you always do. Drop me a voice message at pod.agingwithgraceandstyle.com. As we close, I want to leave you with a thought. Every year is a gift. Whether you're 22 or 82, you have something unique to offer the world. So celebrate your milestones, big and small, and embrace them with gratitude and style. Life isn't about reaching a destination, it's about enjoying the journey. Now, as a reminder, here are a few takeaways. Number one, reflect on your journey. Take a moment to write down a lesson from each decade or life phase. How can these lessons guide you forward? Number two, embrace your style. Try something bold or new this week. Let your style reflect you, not what's considered quote unquote appropriate for your age. Number three, start a gratitude practice. Spend 5 minutes each day writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. It's a small habit that can make a big difference. And number four, set a meaningful intention. As you approach your next milestone, think about what you want to feel or to experience and set an intention that's going to guide your year. As always, thank you for joining me. I hope that these takeaways inspire you to embrace your own milestones with gratitude, style, and purpose. Until next time, this is Valerie reminding you to celebrate every year of your beautiful, one-of-a-kind life. Stay fabulous and keep shining, my friend. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to own your awesomeness. I love sharing this space with you. And if you loved today's episode, do me a favor. Share it with a friend who could use some extra inspiration. A quick rating and review really helps too. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Let's keep this conversation going. Head over to pod.agingwithgraceandstyle.com to sign up for my newsletter. Until next time, keep shining with grace, style, and a whole lot of sass.